This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
Hello, this is Mads Mikkelsen from Star Wars Rogue One, and you are listening to Brews and Blasters.
Here we go.
You're listening to Brews and Blasters, RetroZap.com's free-ranging discussion about all things Star Wars.
How we doing?
Same as always.
That bad, huh?
With your hosts, Chris and Joe, two guys from Boston who are talking about this stuff anyway.
Bulky religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
Let us go inside where we can discuss business over a drink.
Conversation anyway.
This place can be a little rough.
Not good.
I don't like this.
This is madness.
Would you join me for a little refreshment? Everyone's invited, of course.
I think you overestimate their chances.
No, not really, no.
I'm listening.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Brews and Blasters, RetroZap.com's free-ranging discussion about all things Star Wars. My name is Joe, and it's a little empty in the studio tonight. I got a Coyote Mundy here. I have a 3PO with the red arm. Got a Scarif Stormtrooper here. But Chris is not here. Chris is sick. He's not feeling too well. I just got a text from him about a half hour ago. He's NyQuiling up. He's resting up. But his words directly, we are going to slay the next 3 weeks with Star Wars. It's Rogue One all day. So we're gonna shoulder on. We're gonna have a good time tonight because I brought in a ringer. I brought in my good buddy Tyler Westhause. How you doing, man?
Good. For reference, there was nobody else available. I was the last choice. He asked me 10 minutes ago, hey, can you do a podcast? And I said, please, I need validation for my ego.
He's a massive liar. And he was late. I got to watch the Goldbergs. And, well,
listen, man.
It was your mom's birthday. It was a good time.
It's my stepmom's birthday.
Hey,
I had to celebrate.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to her. It's a good time. Hey, but before we start, I'm going to give you the honors, okay? I need to know when the Star Wars party starts.
It's all the time, baby.
All right. Yeah. Tyler, for people who don't know you, you kind of remind, I was thinking about this today. You kind of remind me of like the Ahsoka of Star Wars podcasting.
How? I've already let you down greatly.
No, you remind me. First of all, Ahsoka is like a hero. So first of all, she's an awesome character. So you remind me of the Ahsoka. You walked away from the most downloaded, the NCIS of Star Wars podcasting, the most downloaded show out there. You walked away and you're forging your own path now. And you know, I got to give you credit for that. And I'm really excited to see what is in store for you. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm really excited.
I could be homeless for all we know.
You could. We want to get to know you. Are you homeless?
It feels like it some days. depending on how the morning goes.
You never know.
If I don't take the dogs out in the morning, it's usually you're gonna be homeless by the end of the day if they don't go out. You have a mic though. Have Mike. We'll travel. You're gonna be like one of those like kerchiefs on the stick. Yeah, you know? I'm gonna plug the USB mic into my shopping cart. And realize, oh no, it doesn't work. But I'll be crazy and homeless, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, it's gonna make for a good show. As long as you're talking Star Wars, you're welcome on. So I think you might be the youngest guest ever to be on Brews and Blasters.
Yeah, I'm 9.
You're 20, and
yeah,
usually we kick back some beers here. Like I'm like, it blew up. You're underage. I'm like, wow. Like
I'm drinking an Arnold Palmer though. I'm living large.
Look at you, man. Yeah, like Chris isn't here, and like I was like, well, might as well just save the. I'm drinking a orange vanilla polar seltzer, so we're doing that tonight.
If you want to get drunk and just berate me about millennials, I'm fine.
I have no problem with millennials. Where did this whole millennial thing? I get no problem with millennials. I work with a ton of them. I have a great time.
I know a lot of people that hate millennials.
That's all right.
Those people also hate me, and I'm a millennial. So maybe I'm the problem. I've ruined it for an entire generation.
Wow. I don't even know how to unpack that. Where do we go from there? So the millennials don't like you either.
I mean, to be fair, I don't like them. Most of the people my age just kind of piss me off.
Who do you like? Who do you like, Tyler?
Oh man, I like the Chicago Cubs.
Okay, world champs.
Yeah, world champs.
Yeah,
thank God. I like Bill Murray.
Bill Murray,
he's also a fan of Chicago Cubs.
All right, so he is definitely not like a millennial. He's kind of like
he does millennial stuff though.
Yeah, but he's also he's a baby boomer, and he's definitely like the patron saint of the Gen X crew. Like that guy. I mean, Ghostbusters. Come on, greatest.
I think Caddyshack is still his best movie. But
you think so?
I love Caddyshack so much.
Yeah,
Caddyshack is my favorite comedy of all time. Alternates between Caddyshack and then the millennial choice is 21 Jump Street, just because I love it so much.
That's a good movie. Good movie. Oh my God, I'm gonna Charlie horse here. Oh,
Are you all right?
Yeah, no, I gotta switch.
Am I gonna have to solo the show?
No, I gotta switch. Standing up here. I'm standing up now. It's crazy. Right, I literally have a Charlie horse. That's crazy. See, this is what happens when you get into your 30s, I guess, and you try and podcast.
The weight of me not knowing the catchphrase has finally gotten to your legs. Back 15. Just as an FYI.
See, when Chris isn't here, I'm carrying the whole show on my shoulders, and it's just a lot on my knees, I guess. That's what it is.
Me not knowing the catchphrase, undercut your knees. I just kneecapped you.
You're undercut me. Oh man.
Tyler Westhause guy came on a show, and he just curb stomped the entire show. And
it's the end, I guess. It's the end. So, all right, so I think you gravitate a little bit more towards the Gen X generation, to be honest. And I want
so.
Well, Caddyshack is one of your favorite movies. I think that you have a definite an understanding of what Gen X is all about. Even though you're I get that.
I feel old.
You're an old soul.
I'm grumpy.
Okay, all right.
I'm grumpy. I feel old. I feel jaded about just about everything.
I don't feel jaded. I don't feel jaded.
Hey, man, but I do. Maybe I'm older than you in spirit.
You might be an older soul. Who knows? Maybe I'm the millennial.
Oh, my God. Twists and turns on Brews and Blasters today.
So I think that Chevy Chase is... I think Caddyshack is Chevy Chase's best movie, but not Bill Murray's.
I'm not a Chevy Chase fan, believe it or not.
Neither am I, but I definitely think it's his best movie.
Yeah, I guess by default it is.
Yeah. I mean, the scenes with Murray were hilarious, but I think Chase owned that. Bill Murray set him up for every joke.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Definitely.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Bill Murray in just about anything. Except for that Netflix Christmas special he did last year. Mad
Dog and Glory, not the best movie.
Oh man, you don't have the Mad Dog and Glory box set on your Blu-ray shelf?
I do actually. It's just not that good. It's more of an Uma Thurman film.
I feel kind of embarrassed because 2 days ago, it's the holiday season. We're getting ready.
Yeah.
I went onto Amazon and I just ordered a bunch of really old Christmas movies that are claymation, stop motion. That when I've asked people, they know nothing about them.
Now we're talking.
Maybe you know them.
All right, hit me up.
Have you seen The Year Without Santa Claus?
Yes, I have. It's not good.
Okay. What are you talking about?
It was a whole year. It was miserable. Guess what? I've lived a whole year without Santa Claus too.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to Star Wars eventually, guys.
Yeah, Star Wars. No, they know.
Explain why you don't like A Year Without Santa Claus. Defend yourself, and then explain why the Heat Miser is not your favorite character in all fiction.
Is that the one with Meister Burger? Or is that Santa Claus is coming to town?
I think it's the Snow Miser and the Heat Miser. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The Snow Miser and the Heat.
Yeah.
The Heat Miser, yeah. What is that? Is that German?
Heat Miser. There
you go.
And then the Snow Miser song is the same, but he's snow instead.
Christmas. Yeah. That's what's happening. What are the other films that you got?
I'll let you guess, and I'll tell you if you're correct.
Some Rankin Bass. You get some Rudolph? Frosty?
I did get. Yeah.
Yeah, you got those? Santa Claus is coming to town.
With which I didn't realize. I mean, I was listening to Put One Foot in Front of the Other on repeat while I was working on a paper the other day, and was wondering, why am I not getting any progress? I'm listening to the same song over and over again. I'm going mad.
It's a never-ending song.
I was thinking, this sounds a lot like Mickey Rooney. I was like, oh, this is Mickey Rooney.
There you go.
When Mickey Rooney was still younger.
A young Mickey Rooney, a thing that has not been seen for a long time.
Young Mickey Rooney is like 95, to be fair.
That's true. He
was like 130 years old when he died.
He lived till like 300. It's an amazing thing that he did.
Yeah, when he was in Night at the Museum, he was actually an exhibit. That's how old he is.
That's unreal. I've actually never seen a Night at the Museum.
Oh well, you're missing out.
Really? Am I?
I don't know. There's a lot of actors in it that you wouldn't expect, like
Bill Murray,
Rami Malek. Rami Malek from Mr. Robot. I think he plays like King Tut or something.
No way, really?
Yeah, and then Amy Adams is Amelia Earhart.
No kidding. Now, Mr. Robot, I love that show. I'm like,
it's a great show.
I'm hardcore into that show. I'm just catching up on it now, but I could just talk all day about Mr. Robot. It's ridiculous.
We've yet to talk about Star Wars, so we might as well.
No, we got some things to talk about. I'm looking at Spaceship Earth there. It's turned into a Del Star. We have a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk to you about Star Wars. I want to know what you think of Star Wars. We're gonna get to it.
Let's do it.
No. I got to run this down. I got to know a little bit more. Did you get?
I'm not saying let's do it right now. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So what other DVDs did you get, or Blu-rays? Do you get the Blu-rays?
I always get the Blu-rays.
Good. You got to get them. There are people who still get the DVDs, and I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm already going. I only do digital now. That's my thing.
Why do you know people that still buy DVDs? You should cut those people from your life.
I can't. They're like family. It's crazy.
What? You can pick your family.
I buy them Blu-ray players. That's what I do.
And they still buy DVDs.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Well, they still use the old ones. It's a whole vicious cycle. It's you don't want to get into it. It's very it's very boring.
Sounds depressing. I'll tell you that much.
It's boring, pretty much. So, all right. The first thing I was thinking of when I was like, what do I talk about with Tyler, is I want to know what your Star Wars is, and I'm like, where was your entry point for Star Wars? Where did you come from, with this whole journey? Because you're in deep now. You're rolling deep in Star Wars, and I want to know like where this all started for you.
Well, I saw The Phantom Menace. That was my first Star Wars movie. I saw that when I was 3, and I don't remember a ton from being in the theater, except for I know I didn't like Jar Jar.
All right.
Even as a child, he annoyed me.
Yeah.
And I don't hate Jar Jar. I just don't like him. I love Darth Maul.
He's awesome.
Darth Maul is my favorite Star Wars character, and I couldn't tell you why. I love Darth Maul. The Clone Wars and Rebels have sort of validated that a bit, but before that, it was like, why is Darth Maul your favorite character? The horns. I don't know.
So it's that you do know why. It's just
I don't have much validation when people tell me why Darth Maul is a bad character. I mean, I don't really have any arguments against it.
It doesn't take a lot for you to have favorites. Sometimes it is visceral, right? You just like it, and like that thing connects with you. Like, I like Darth Maul. He's the best.
Yeah, like I have movies that I think are my favorite movie isn't what I think is the best movie of all time.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, I think, is The Big Lebowski.
Dude, that's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that at the movie theaters.
I think the greatest movie of all time is 12 Angry Men.
There you go. That's a great idea. Adam Savage, like former Mythbusters, he used to say there are great movies, there are movies you love, and then there are important movies. And it's a good distinction to make, because sometimes you watch a movie because it's important, because it's either furthered some, cinematic technology or legacy or trend. And then there are like great movies because they were, they were powerful, or they had a massive impact, or the actors did an amazing job. And then there's movies you love. There's movies that is great because...
I mean, I'll listen to 12 Angry Men, like, when I'm working on papers and have it on in the background. I adore that movie. There's a lot of movies that are... I mean, they're ancient to people my age, but... I mean, I'll listen to 12 Angry Men all the time. I'll listen to Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I'll throw Citizen Kane on in the background.
Wow.
There's movies that are just in another class entirely.
You're a cinephile.
Slightly, but
yeah.
I wish that I'm not smart enough to call myself that.
Well, you'll get there.
I was talking with my friend Savannah Kiefer the other day, and I was explaining why 12 Angry Men is awesome. And I'm just like, you have to watch the movie. And she's like, yeah, well, you have to watch Indiana Jones, because I hadn't seen Indiana Jones up until a few days ago.
So which Indiana Jones?
I've watched Raiders and Temple of Doom so far.
Nice.
And then I'm wrong, actually. The one Indiana Jones I had seen...
You're lying.
I had seen Kingdom from the Crystal Skull, but most people tell me to block it out of my memory, and I pretty much have.
Yeah, it's not a good entry point into Indiana Jones. If that's your first Indiana Jones, it's... erase that for a while and watch the first three, and then come back.
I'm a Shia LaBeouf guy. I'll
you like
his existence as long as people don't get mad at me.
You like the Shy guy?
I love Shia LaBeouf.
There you go.
Should have been nominated for an Oscar for the Disney original movie Holes. If your audience
Holes.
knows.
Man, I remember Holes.
Holes with the other guy from Psych. I think his name is Gus. He played like an ancient character in that movie.
No kidding.
I watched it a few weeks ago with my little brother, and he's like, I don't like this. I'm just like, it's one of the greatest movies of all time, Aaron. Shut up.
So would that be your favorite movie?
Holes is not my favorite movie.
Okay.
I still think The Big Lebowski is the favorite.
Big Lebowski.
Holes is up there. Let's be honest. Holes is fantastic.
It is. It's like Lebowski and then Holes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily. Then Sky High, throw that on there.
No, I can't get him back to Sky High. So,
okay. Which High School Musical is your favorite?
I've never seen a High School Musical.
All right, it was nice being on the show. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Hey, Tyler Westhause, everyone. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Chris is gonna listen to this show and be like, "What the hell happened?"
No, I think he'll probably be like, "Yeah, this is par for the course right now. Or not enough sandwiches." There are people. I think they're listening to the show just for the food right now. It's crazy. There are people. I'm not sure if they know it's a Star Wars podcast anymore. It's like,
I don't know if it's a Star Wars podcast, and I'm on it.
Yeah, we're definitely talking Star Wars. Don't worry about that.
At some point.
Yeah, we get to it. It's all good. I mean, Star Wars doesn't live in a vacuum, right? We all go about our lives. We all watch other movies. We all talk about other TV shows. It's a cultural touchstone that can bridge the gap between so many other things. I'm pulling back the curtain. I shouldn't be pulling back the curtain. It should be crazy, but it's true. So we can talk about anything we want, and it all comes back to Star Wars in the end, as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, you can't keep me in line, Tyler. That's the thing. I'm gonna lean into the tangents no matter what. So that's what I do. So my favorite movie ever is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's it. That's my number one.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's my that's my fun movie. That's when I want to.
Aren't they making a sequel next year?
Oh, I hope so. Oh,
I think I read that somewhere. All right, hold on.
It would be great. I've heard rumors. I've heard so many rumors of it. They have scripts. I don't think they're gonna get the financing for it. It's probably gonna move on. But I mean, Alex and Keanu are totally up for it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we got to do that one some other time. So you saw the Phantom Menace?
Yeah, the Bill and Ted podcast.
What's that?
The Bill and Ted podcast is gonna be great.
I would be so down for that. It may not be for you, but there is definitely people out there who would listen. I'm positive of that. Positive. Yeah. I'm sure many people in the audience right now are just cheering for a Bill and Ted's podcast to scream.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, we started off this entire podcast like episode 1 with Bill and Ted like sound clips. We started that off doing that, so it only went down from there.
Bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. We'll begin there and we'll end there. That's how it all goes. So, all right. So your entry point was Phantom Menace at 3 years old. Like any other memories of like the prequels, seeing them originally? Were you like instantly converted, or was like just something that you went to see when you were 3?
Oh yeah, I mean I was super into it as a kid.
Okay.
The Phantom Menace was the entry point, and I remember seeing Attack of the Clones in the theaters when it came out, and I was super excited.
Yep.
And then my friend Matt, for his 10th birthday, we went to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters at the movie theater that I still go to.
Nice.
Religiously. And yeah, I have very distinct memories of that. And because I was a stupid kid and I didn't put I was able to put stuff together, but I was so focused on other things Star Wars other than the movies, I didn't even think about when Palpatine revealed himself and turned into the Emperor.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, I knew it was him. I knew it was him, but I never the connection was never there for me. I always had a disconnect between the two characters.
That's amazing. And we've heard that before. Like there are people who, they didn't put it together all the time. It's
yeah, I mean more casual people, I imagine,
yeah,
want to put it together. I always had a problem imagining Anakin in the prequels as Darth Vader, even after he got put into the suit. Last year for Rebels.
To be perfectly honest, I still have that. I still have that disconnect a little bit.
It's difficult. I mean, at least for prequel Anakin. Like last year when the Rebels finale happened, when I was still with RFR, I talked about how on one of the episodes, I talked about on the Rebels Declassified we did, that was one of the first times that I really thought oh, Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. The moment where he says Ahsoka and you hear Matt Lanter's voice. That's one of my favorite Darth Vader moments of all time. But I've never had the fear of Darth Vader that a lot of people have. He's always just been there have been 3 evils, evil sources that I've always known growing up, and Darth Vader and the Devil are 2 of them.
There you go. Yeah,
Darth
I
Vader,
mean,
he doesn't scare me.
I mean, when I was a kid, I thought Darth Vader was cool. I thought he was really awesome. He didn't scare me. He didn't scare me at all. I mean, I don't know.
Just a staple of my life, though.
He was just really cool. He was dressed in all black, had cool powers, he was stronger than Luke, and Luke was awesome. That was I just thought Darth Vader was awesome. That was kind of my thing. And I don't know. I never got the scary thing from him. He wasn't menacing or terrifying. I mean,
maybe it had to do with seeing it in the theaters. Maybe that was what scared people. But
yeah, I mean, I saw a Jedi there.
Yeah, he was already around.
Yeah. But something, the point you made about Anakin and Vader coming, that moment in Twilight of the Apprentice where you saw half the mask off and you actually saw the connection between, young Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, right there. That's actually the first time they did that. That's really the first time on screen in a film or in a television show they actually tried to bridge that gap in a very real way.
Yeah, I mean, I got into an argument with like I said on the show, I got into a big argument with Jimmy Mack about it. Jimmy was talking to me about how the first time that Anakin was, or Darth Vader was Anakin, was when Luke redeemed him, and I disagreed, and I said it was the Ahsoka portion, and then in the Darth Vader comics when Boba Fett tells him that Luke's last name is Skywalker. That was another amazing Darth Vader moment.
Oh, amazing!
I was able to make the connection oh, Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. They're not 2 separate characters. But
yeah, we
got into a big argument about it, and I got a lot of listeners afterwards hey man, I totally agree with you. And then a lot of them were just you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, all that stuff is very
about this.
Yeah, it's very debatable in a lot of ways, right? I mean, there are ways to look at the Vader character and when he, quote unquote, became Vader, and is Anakin still in there, or when do you see Anakin, when do you not see Anakin? I mean, that's the beauty of how that character is set up, and it's been done well right now throughout the Marvel series. I think that the Darth Vader series was unbelievable. I don't think they should have cut it short. It's kind of ridiculous, but
I'm excited for the Dr. Afra stuff though.
Yeah,
I like her.
I'm totally psyched for that.
Whatever evil Chewbacca's name is, I always forget what his name is. That mean Wookiee with all the jewelry. The first thing that popped in my head was I think it's like
Black
Hanar
Chrysanthemum
from like KOTOR 2, but
yeah,
I don't know what his name. What did you say his name was?
Black Chrysanthemum. That's his name. KRRSANTAN.
I'm just gonna stick with evil Chewie.
You can do that too. You can do that. Yeah. The only reason I know that is because Dennis Keithley does comic reviews on RetroZap, and I'm publishing those, and I had to spell check that. I had to make sure that was spelled correctly before I hit publish. So I had to make sure, starting I'm like, what is this Wookiee's name? And I had to look that one up. So that's a rough one. That's almost as bad as like the 90s Star Wars where there was like apostrophes everywhere. Just apostrophe man who uses the Force or is, negates Force abilities or whatever. I don't know.
So my favorite anything Star Wars is the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic video game, and I think every single podcast appearance I've ever made, I brought up that game, and I'm going to keep that trend going.
Go for it.
But that's my favorite thing Star Wars, and when I created my character for the first time, because you could name your own guy.
Yeah.
I remember I had like 8 apostrophes in there, a last and a middle name. I was like, this is an awesome Star Wars name. They should hire me.
Were you being ironic, or were you like, you thought that was the best name?
No, I was 7. I thought it was great.
Awesome. Amazing.
I thought it was really smart.
There you go. What was the name?
I have no idea. I just remember the apostrophes. That's what stood out.
So disappointing.
I played like... I remember I played like for an hour, and I was like, I don't understand this, because it was like 7. And I went back to it a few months later, and then there was a character model that looked just like Mace Windu, and I just named the character Mace Windu.
I like that. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. So, you've been into have you like literally been consistently into Star Wars your entire life, or did it fade or wane at all? Like,
or sort of waned during the Clone Wars period, because I was going through middle school and high school at the time, and it wasn't like it wasn't super cool to be like talking always about Star Wars with my buddies, so I'd sort of drift. But I've always loved Star Wars. I'd always occasionally go on like a Wikipedia rant or a Wikipedia tear and just go through like 60 pages, and I'd I'd look at my phone and I'd be like, oh, I have 40 text messages that I missed.
There you go.
I was reading about the Old Republic's like government structure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
in high school, let me tell you that much.
What's that?
Liking Star Wars did wonders for my social life in high school. There's nothing somebody finds more attractive than me being able to tell them all about the Old Republic.
Yeah, hey, when you find the young lady who does, it's gonna be love at first sight, right?
Until they like disagree with me, like they tell me that Knights of the Republic isn't the greatest game of all time. I'd be like, all right.
Wow. My wife doesn't even like Star Wars. She's not even a fan. It's all right. It's all right. It's my thing.
I'm happy you were able to overcome this gigantic marriage obstacle in your life.
It's not, you don't. Some people do consider that a giant marriage obstacle, I would say. Some people, that's a deal breaker.
For reference for your listeners, I don't actually I'm not that pretentious where if somebody disagreed with me about Star Wars, I'd be like, I'm done with you.
All right. We're learning here today. This is a learning day.
You're getting the insight into an ego-driven millennial right now. So.
Oh man! Hey, what do you have for dinner tonight?
I got a gigantic burrito with cheese on top of it, and it was a mix of like steak and chorizo on the inside of it.
That sounds amazing.
I got rice.
That's amazing.
So I go to this little like Mexican place that's in an old Pizza Hut. It's the greatest Mexican food I've ever had in my life. It's amazing.
You killing me. That sounds so good. So good. Like the places that are like in the hollowed out old, like the old fast food places, but now it's like the family place. They always make the best stuff because they know how to use that space. They're gonna make it. They're gonna do it the right way. They're gonna do it better.
Yeah,
it's
the best.
That's how it's done. My wife made chicken marsala this week and it was unbelievable. I flipped my lid. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that burrito now. I'm sorry.
Dude, it's all right. I mean, that sounds like a ridiculous burrito. Got to be honest.
It's like the size of me when I was born, so I got like half of it upstairs.
You basically ate a small baby.
It's called the giant burrito suizo for a reason.
Wow. Yeah,
I've gone there with my father multiple times, and every time the burrito comes out, I'd be like, Jesus, that's big.
When I was in college, I was in a band, I'm in a metal band, and like my rhythm guitarist worked at this place called Burrito Max. And this was like before like Qdoba.
No Max?
Burrito Max.
Like MAX?
Oh yeah, like maximum burrito. Burrito Max.
Oh, great.
And
sounds amazing.
I didn't name it. And my rhythm guitarist worked there, and like we would just go there and get like free burritos all the time. Like every time we walked in, you just start making burritos, hand them over. It was amazing. And they did this like off the menu thing, like where the workers at Burrito Max like figured out different things you could do with the burritos to make them even better. And they had one called the 40 ouncer, which was, not one of those like the huge burrito like tortillas. They would just do 2 of those at a time, like roll those out, and then make one ridiculously huge burrito. And that would last you a good couple of days in college. It was a good time.
I should go there when I become homeless. Just like stack up, ration myself for the month.
You can portion that.
A piece of tortilla with lettuce attached to it, or am I going to go? Or am I going to
lettuce?
Am I going to live dangerously and eat a portion with chorizo and then drink water out of the lake
I
live under?
Hey, that sounds good to me. Lake water. Get good things in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Worms and disease.
Where do you live anyway? You're in Chicago, right? You like the Cubs?
Yeah,
you like Bill Murray? There we go.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm the most like suburban person in the world.
Hey. You're the most suburban person?
I think so. Like I'm one of those people who, when I go into Chicago, I always go like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally from Chicago." And be like, "Where do you live in?" Be like, "Oh, the suburbs." And then they ask me to leave. It's I tell people. Well, if I'd say like, "Oh yeah, I live in the yada yada suburb," they'll just be like, "Oh, what? Is that near Chicago?" Yeah, it's like it's a train right out. It's like, oh, okay.
There you go. We're north of Boston. I mean, we're pretty much in the suburbs. It's a good time.
I can tell you're north of Boston.
Yeah, you can tell.
I know that much about you.
How much do you know? You know the north of Boston accent?
Yeah, I mean I've seen The Departed a bunch.
There you go. So that's not north of Boston. That's south of Boston. That's Southie. It's actually part of Boston, but it's South Boston.
You were in The Departed, right?
No, my brother was in the town. But
what?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, he was. He got his scene got cut, but he hung out with Ben Affleck all day. No, I wish. No, he's a good guy though. No, he hung out with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner for like a whole day, and like he filmed an entire scene, and it ended up getting cut. But he had gone out to be part of the crew, part of Ben Affleck's crew. Like there was like a tall blonde guy who did like the cable stuff in his crew. He was like cutting all the cable wires. And like he was gonna go for that character, but they wanted someone. My brother looked too pretty. I guess the casting agent said they wanted someone who looked a little more street, and they went with this guy. But it looks so much like him; it's ridiculous.
Sure, that's not just your brother complimenting himself. Like I didn't get it, but they said it was too handsome.
He might have been. But you looked at the guy, and the description matched exactly what he said.
That was my excuse in choir when I wouldn't get solos. I just wanted someone with a far worse voice. They don't want to embarrass everybody. They go cry in the corner. Listen to musicals.
Hilarious. No, my brother was like he was definitely more like put together, like not like he like gets his hair cut like every 3 days and like has like nice earrings in his ears and wears like designer stuff. So, he was very put together. And this guy was looked a little rough around the edges. Could actually like maybe commit robberies. The type of thing. That was the whole thing with the town. So, wow, Star Wars, huh?
Yeah. We've talked about more, like we've mentioned other movies more than we have Star Wars on this episode.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We're having a good time, and we're learning a ton about Tyler. That's what it's all about. That's what we're trying to do here today.
I'm gonna see as low as my Twitter numbers are. I'm gonna see them drop somehow after this episode.
You never know. You never know, right? You never know.
Yeah, they might just delete my account. Who knows?
That's on you. It's not on us. We're trying here.
I'll blame you by proxy.
There we go.
Screaming the sky, retro zapped.
Retro's up. So what happened like that got you into like the Star Wars community itself? So you're loving these movies. When did the OT even come into this?
Shortly after the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I think it was like maybe a couple months after. I mean, as my earliest Star Wars memory is the Phantom Menace, but right after that, it's all original trilogy. And it's not like I'm pretty sure my first entry was the original cuts, like the 77 cuts, not the special editions.
Sure.
Because I remember seeing like the scene of Jabba as like a man instead of a hut.
No kidding.
And I remember like 4 years ago, I completely forgot about that, and I was just like sitting in my room. I don't remember what I was doing. It was like, wait a minute. I just went to YouTube and was like, what? I'm having a flashback of memories right now.
So
but the original trilogy has always been there for me. It's not like it's always consistently been there.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've always wondered what it was like with the Clone Wars going on in like middle school. Like, it's interesting to think that like, you know, you were digging this stuff every week, you were watching every week, but you weren't able to like really share it with too many people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the Clone Wars, I'm pretty much convinced that the majority of the audience of the Clone Wars and Rebels, I have no data to back this up. I think it's just almost all adults, and the kids who do watch it with their parents.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many like kids just watch it on their own.
I'm super curious about that too myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's data behind it, but I don't know.
We don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely.
I'm just gonna continue to talk on my butt and hope it hope it goes well.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
I would watch it on and off. I remember seeing the advert for Darth Maul coming back, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I was so confused. I went to school and it's like, you guys know Darth Maul's coming back? And people was like, didn't he get like cut in half in that movie? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, oh, that's stupid. I was like, okay, nobody else wants to talk to me about it. I'll just go to the internet and read people talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, like right around when the Clone Wars started, that's when I started getting into, you know, the Star Wars community, and I was like, man, Star Wars has been with me my entire life, and I've always loved it. I'm gonna just double down on this and really, like, you know, take a deep dive into what I know I enjoy and kind of learn about myself a little more that way. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I've always wondered about like the Clone Wars and Rebels, and I actually further down my my list here, I was curious what your perspective was. Like, do you think the kids are actually watching, or is it more of something propelled by the parents? And I don't know. Like, it's always been.
I really think it is propelled by the parents. I would really be interested in like even knowing how many people watch Disney XD. I have no idea how the ratings for Rebels are.
Yeah,
I imagine it's mostly adults, because most of what I see on Rebels on the internet, because people love to whine, is, oh, Rebels is such a kid show. I'm just like, I mean, it is supposed to be a kid show, but I mean, adults are trying to watch it as though it's an adult-oriented show. And at times, I think
it's not Westworld. You know.
Oh, can you imagine? That'd be so great.
I kind of can't though. Like that would be really weird.
I would just lock me in a room for a month, or lock me outside when I'm homeless, and I'll scream outside your house as a homeless man. Like, I'll tell you all my ideas about a Star Wars Westworld crossover.
That could be amazing. I'm gonna get JJ at the helm, right? We can make that happen.
Yeah, I was watching. I didn't realize he worked on that. I was watching behind the scenes featurette after the finale, which I'm not going to spoil. Don't worry.
Yeah, please don't. I got to get into that show.
Yeah,
I've only seen a little
JJ
bit.
was talking. I was like, oh, of course, JJ Abrams worked on this show. Like,
yeah,
he works on like every like show that I watch. I don't even realize it.
I think he hears the premise, he greenlights it, and then he gets a team to do it. That's kind of his move. A lot of these TV shows.
Put my name on it. Why don't you?
Yeah. I'll executive produce this. Sure. That's what I'm gonna do. That's the ticket.
I think he directed the pilot to Lost, right?
Yeah. He
they credited him as an executive producer, and he was like never involved after that.
Pretty much. Like yeah. He greenlit like the story treatment that someone else like gave. And I don't even know if he directed. He might have directed the series premiere. I forget.
Regardless, that pilot's one of the best like television pilots of all time.
It's one of the best hours of television ever, definitely. Mm-hmm. It was also at the time the biggest budget television show like episode ever, like huge budget. But I mean that was before HBO was like really doubling down on production. And you know Game of Thrones was still years off. So
I mean, Netflix. There's a rumor that Netflix spent like $100 million on that new series, The Crown, about Queen Elizabeth's like becoming the queen. And I mean, you can see it with the work they put into everything.
That's amazing.
Still, $100 million for a TV show kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, you can only imagine what they're getting back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, no, so, I mean, we're going back to, like...
I think Netflix is doing fine.
They're doing okay, that Netflix over there.
I know some people that have it.
I get the Netflix. Yeah, do you have the Netflix?
Have you heard of this thing called Netflix?
Oh, jeez. That's funny. That's funny. So you're 20. Do you collect right now? Are you a collector?
I went through a period where I did start collecting a lot of stuff. I have a little Star Wars shelf.
Yeah.
But I am 20. I'm in college, so I don't really have a ton of like disposable income to put towards like action figures as much as I'd like.
Sure.
Like, I got a lot of stuff where if I were like have friends over, they'd be like, "Oh, you're really into Star Wars, huh?" Like I'm at that level.
Yeah.
I'm not insane.
No, I was like when I was 20, I was like, yeah, I love Star Wars in my heart. That's where I'm the biggest fan of Star Wars, in my heart.
I got all the stuff that I wanted though. Like I'm not missing out on anything. I haven't bought any Rogue One stuff, but I want I want to get the K2SO Black Series, then I want to get the Darth Revan Black Series for obvious reasons.
They're good figures.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those. I have both. That Revan figure is unreal. Like, I can't believe the detail they put into that.
Super excited about it. I'm going to buy like 6 and just put them in every room that I go into in my house. One's in the living room. One will be in the garage. Bathroom.
That's awesome.
One in the cabinet where I keep all my soup.
Yeah, in the carriage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Another will just like, I don't know, I'm trying to think. It would just go above my front door.
That could get stolen.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
That's all right.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So without Revan aside, what would be the gem of your collection right now?
Oh man.
What's the shining gem? The Kyber crystal.
They're going to be very similar. The first Star Wars figure that I bought with my own money that I didn't get as that I didn't ask my parents to buy for me was a Darth Malak figure, also from Knights of the Old Republic.
Nice.
And a year later, I got a Bastila Shan, also from Knights of the Old Republic.
There you go.
So I have those prominent. And then my stepfather is a really big Star Wars fan, and he recently got back into collecting to the point where it's he went all in.
Really?
I have a photo that I'll send you after the show, and if the listeners are curious about it, it looks really fantastic. They can go to the Facebook group I run, which is called the Star Wars Podcast Alliance.
Boom.
I'll post it in there at some point.
Yeah, do that.
He bought an R2D2, a life-size one that the droid builders worked on, and it has a remote. It goes around, makes all the beeps and boops.
Are you kidding me?
Fantastic. Oh yeah, he went all in on it.
That's amazing.
And he also bought a little life-size Jawa as well.
What?
So whenever I visit, I just spend most of my time in the Star Wars room because he also found all his old toys that he got when he was a kid when the movies were coming. And he gave me a bunch of doubles that he has.
No
he
kidding.
showed me at one point an Excel spreadsheet that he was working on, listing off every single toy he had and which ones he needed. And I just walked in, I looked at him, I was you're insane. And I walked out, but I was envious.
It's a good way to learn Excel. I got to tell you, it's a good way. You can figure that program out by doing all the Star Wars toys. It's not bad. First of all, he reminds me a little bit of Chris, because Chris has tons of life-size stuff. It's ridiculous. Doesn't have a working R2 though. That's next level. That is next level right there. Chris has a life-size Darth Maul though.
He didn't. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Got to get Chris on this show. He'd be great.
Yeah, with this Chris Salton guy, he would be amazing on this show. Where is he?
Yeah, I heard he's pretty good. Why'd you get this guy? For reference, I just sent to your Facebook Messenger the image, so you can judge it live on air. And if the listeners want to make a second screen experience, they can look at it once I post it.
There you go. We're doing a lot of screens here. You know what's funny? You're the only person I talk to on Facebook. That's pretty. I don't use Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm more of a Twitter guy. There we go. Look at this! Wow, this looks like photoshopped. It looks unreal.
Oh yeah, he set up lighting and everything. He also he bought a bunch of masterclass series like lightsabers.
Oh, I see them.
He's all in.
Yeah, those sabers are worth a lot of money right now.
I was talking to a guy that I was at a party with the other day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have my lightsaber at home." It's like, "What do you have?" And he's like, "The Mesa Windu one." I'm like, "That's like $1,000 lightsaber on eBay."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh really? I just got to like sit in the corner." I'm just like, "Why? Give it to me."
There are ones that are like $10,000 right now. It's ridiculous.
Which one is $10,000?
I don't know. I forget. But like I looked them up maybe a year ago, and I'm like, I texted Chris. I'm like, Chris, you have all of the Force FX lightsabers, right? Like all of these lightsabers. And he's like, yeah, I have them all. I'm like, they're all multiple thousands of dollars, buddy. You hit the jackpot. You won. And yeah, it's ridiculous.
I have the Darth Maul one, and that's it.
Nice.
I only have one of them though.
That's awesome.
It was on sale for like Black Friday a few years ago, and I didn't tell my dad, so he's wondering what this gigantic package outside the front door was. And I'm just like, Dad, you know how I'm really cool? And he goes like, excuse me? And I take it out, and he's like, oh God, and he just walked away.
I like how he has the glass case as well. The glass case is really, really good.
He's got the glass case too.
Look at that.
You're talking about my stepdad.
I'm talking about your stepdad stuff, though.
I thought you were talking about Chris.
No. Chris wants to get he wants that stuff. Yeah.
He has the glass case, and then he has it color coordinated. So like the New Hope one is blue. Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. No, go with that. Yeah. Go with that.
Return of the Red Eye is green, and then Empire is red.
Hey, that Star Wars #2, that magazine format one, the Marvel Special Edition on the wall there, I have that. I got it for like 75 cents in terrible condition. Yeah, it's basically falling apart, but I have that.
You know that cool thing your stepfather has?
Yeah.
I got it, but it sucks.
No, the one I have is terrible. Yeah, your father has a really nice. That's a good one. I have the bad one.
I gotcha.
Yeah, no, I do have a mounted, like I have a Star Wars #1 in like perfect condition, on the wall right now. That's pretty nice. Pretty happy about that one.
I'm trying to think about what the nicest thing I have is. Like in the middle of my display is a FN 2199. The
nice trader
meme one.
Yeah.
Trader.
Yeah.
I got it with like a Poe pack, and it's like I'll just put this in the middle to laugh by myself. Nobody else will ever see it.
There we go. I have the I got to tell you, if you want any Elite series, go for the R2D2 Elite series. That's probably one of my favorite ones from this year.
The Elite series are the Disney exclusive store ones, right?
Yeah.
They're die cast, right?
Yeah, and they're hit or miss. I got to be honest. Like a lot of them are very hit or miss. But the R2 figure is probably the best R2 I've ever seen. Like for a figure, it's second to none. If you ask me, I have him on my desk at work. I love it.
I saw a General Grievous Elite Series figure.
It doesn't stand well.
I forgot what it does. It not.
No.
It looks like it'd be really flimsy.
Yeah, it's unfortunately very flimsy. It looks great in the box, but I open my stuff, so it just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, I have very few things that are still in the box. I try to.
Good for you.
Take them out and look at them. The only ones I have that are still in the box are my. And I'll stop talking about my family eventually on the show.
No, please don't. Keep it going.
The family hour.
Yeah,
my
it's
dad,
all right.
When I was a little kid, bought me a bunch of like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones toys that I could have when I was older.
Boom.
And I'm keeping those in the box, and then it's like in a storage tub that's in our basement. And then right next to it is, I forget, there was a promotion that McDonald's did where they had like an Inspector Gadget toy that you could assemble.
Okay.
You had to go to like multiple McDonald's to get the pieces. He was telling me his story. He's like, for like a month and a half, I went from McDonald's to McDonald's trying to get all these pieces so you could have a toy when you grew up.
That's like, love. Trying to get these pieces for you. Here it is. He has no head.
There's the head.
There we go. Oh man. So we get the favorite character. Darth Maul's the favorite character, but I'm hearing this Watto thing. What is this Watto thing? I thought
I just think Watto is one of like the goofiest characters in Star Wars. And I think he's hilarious. Like I think he's a deeper character that a lot of people give him credit for, but he's really just a joke.
He's awesome. Yeah, I mean he's a joke, but he's He's awesome. It's an
He's
amazingly
the type of comic relief I like. Like I don't like the Jar Jar comic relief that's so like overt and obvious. The Watto is just he's an interesting character that's mostly comedic.
Yeah, I mean, he has character, right?
Also, did you see his hat in Attack of the Clones? That hat is amazing.
Oh, it's like a mini Embo right there.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, Watto's legit. I love Watto.
Yeah.
Also a big Sebulba fan.
Really?
Yeah, I love Sebulba as a little kid.
Is
I would always play
Sebulba
the pod racing game and choose Sebulba over every other character?
Is Sebulba the Doug that's in Jabba's palace?
Didn't Sebulba die?
Did he? I don't know.
I think Sebulba died. Time to go to Wikipedia and check.
Hoodoo.
Sebulba. All right. Maybe he's still alive in canon. All right, he's alive in canon.
Yeah.
And he was alive in Legends. I have no idea if he was in Jabba's palace.
Because there's a Doug that walks through Jabba's palace.
Not all Dougs are the same.
No, it's true, but he was in the underworld on Tatooine. It's like how many Dougs are on Tatooine?
Oh, probably like a dozen.
You don't know that. You don't know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
you don't know there's a dozen.
I get inside sources.
You get the sources, okay.
Yeah.
You're part of the...
It's the benefit of being a contributor for StarWars.com.
Is that so?
I ask dumb questions like, how many Dougs are on Tatooine? And they go like, do you want to get fired? And be like, no, I'm sorry.
There we go. That's, yeah. So the answer is, do you want to get fired?
Yeah. And then I just assume like, probably 12, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a nice round circle we just made right there. There we go.
That's the answer to all my Star Wars questions. Like, what happened to
12
after Phantom Menace?
12. About a dozen. That's what happens.
It's answers like that and thought plans like that are gonna make me homeless. Coming back around to homelessness.
There we go.
Tyler Westhause. It's imminent, ladies and gentlemen.
It's called a callback. That's what it is. So, I feel like we're doing obscure characters, but do you have like a favorite obscure character?
It's probably a character from like Knights of the Old Republic again. Honest to God,
hit it.
Like, there's so many characters in that I just love.
All right, let's hear it.
I really like. He's not obscure. He's one of the main characters of the games, but I really like Candrass Ordo.
Okay.
He's Mandalore the Preserver in Legends. He was always one of my favorite characters. He's like a hardened Mandalorian mercenary, and I've always loved the Mandalorians. And there's another character it's not Star Wars, but in the Mass Effect series, there's a character named Rex, who's basically just the equivalent of Candrass, but
there we go.
An alien species. I really like Candrass. Man, I'm trying to think of what else. There's a character named Davik Kang, I think it is, who you steal your ship from in Knights of the Old Republic. I like him a lot. I don't know. Is Cad Bane obscure, do you think? I like Cad Bane a lot.
I would say Cad Bane is obscure now. I think, 2016 moving into 2017, yeah, Cad Bane's obscure. Like, who remembers Cad Bane, right? Like, what happened to that guy?
Yeah, I like Cad Bane.
He's dropped. He dropped character.
There's not really a ton of obscure characters that I'm a really big fan of in the original trilogy. I know that. Like, I was never a Boba Fett fan.
No.
That's something I've gotten into arguments with people about.
With
Adam Ray for StarWars.com, I actually wrote a feature with him for their From a Certain Point of View series.
Sure.
Where Adam argued that Boba Fett was the superior Fett, and I argued for Jango Fett.
Right.
And it's basically just me like talking about how I dislike Boba Fett and like using the holiday special as my main argument.
What about Jodo Cast? I mean,
I like Cast. My favorite Fett is Cassis Fett, who was in a bunch of like really old Republic era comics.
No kidding.
He's no longer canon because I don't think the Fetts are Mandalorians in canon anymore. I think they were just bounty hunters who stole the armor.
Who knows? Who knows right now? Like, they left that so vague. It's completely up in the air. And
did they call them pretenders in the Clone Wars? Something like that? Didn't Pre Vizsla call Jango Fett a Mandalorian pretender?
Olmec. Or whatever the guy's name was. Not previous. Right. What is it?
Are you having a stroke?
No, I'm not having a stroke. What was the guy's name that was the corrupt leader that wasn't Satine and it wasn't Pre Vizsla? It was like Olmec or Orsak.
The guy with the stupid hair.
Yeah.
What's his name?
That clown.
I'm not sure, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was a clown, and he was like, Jango Fett is a like I'm not a Mandalorian. He said, but that guy lied through his teeth about literally everything. So who knows, right?
That's not super honest. What about you? Who's your favorite obscure Star Wars character?
Oh man, I mean, we're big fans of Oppo Rancisis over here. We're big fans of the Oppo, and then there's also, of course, Coyote Monday, which we have a holiday for, Coyote Monday.
Do you consider him obscure?
Is he? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. He was always like, maybe it's because the prequel generation is me, technically. Yeah. I grew up playing like the Battlefront games as well, and he was like a major player in those.
That's true.
He always like struck me as the one member of the Jedi Council that like I want to know more about him.
I always wanted to know more about him, and
more so than the other ones.
I have this concept figure here, and he's just such a badass with this concept figure. He had like an eye patch. He looked like a pirate.
Oh yeah,
just so cool.
And then in the animated Clone Wars series, before the Clone Wars, the 2D one, he was awesome in that. That series is fantastic.
That thing slayed. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I love that show. The Tartakovsky one.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I mean, you had that what's it called? The hammerhead that was like blowing out the sides with the force. Like, yeah. I mean, tons of creativity in that show.
Yeah.
And
it was Star Wars Samurai Jack, and I loved Samurai Jack growing up.
I almost got a Samurai Jack tattoo. When I was
really?
When I was like 23. Came very close. Didn't get it.
Was it a face tat that you were thinking about?
Not like of Samurai Jack's face, or like one like on my face.
Yeah. Were you gonna tattoo Samurai Jack's face on your face?
I was gonna get it on the back of my head, actually. So like.
Oh, okay. So like Professor Quill in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, except
Voldemort on the back.
Except Samurai Jack.
Okay.
You follow me here. It would be like that, but it would be Samurai Jack.
Okay, I got it.
A bag of eyeballs.
He had a man bun, so you would have a man bun like covering your actual face.
If only I could, my friend. If only I could. No, the hair has been leaving from anything.
You're gonna lose so many listeners after this episode.
Hey, we're throwing it out there. We're renegades. We don't care. Oh man. Hey, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in a second.
Hey, it's Greg Grunberg, Snap Wexley from Star Wars. I didn't fly an X-Wing, I flew a double XL wing. And you are listening to Brews and Blasters.
Blasters.
Oh, and you are listening to Brews and Blasters.
From a galaxy far away, it's Brews and Blasters. Rebel scum and IPAs, it's Brews and Blasters. Sith and Jedi agree, it's the only podcast that you need. Tell your droid to dim the lights, it's Brews and Blasters tonight.
Hey, Tyler.
What's up?
Have you heard Donald Glover's new album?
Oh my God, have I?
Unbelievable, right?
Oh, I love Donald Glover so much.
Yeah.
But it's Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Toronto, let me tell you.
Childish Gambino. Why did he call himself that? I don't get that.
I believe the story is that he put his name, Donald Glover, into a Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
Sure.
And that's what he went with. That's the popular story that I always hear.
That's good. I can run with that. I can live with that.
That's a Donald Glover thing to do.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
No, that album is amazing. It's not for everybody, but as a big fan of his, I love it.
So I haven't liked anything he's done musically. All right.
What?
I haven't. It didn't appeal to me. I didn't like it, and it's not like I disliked Donald Glover, and it's not like I don't think I've been exposed to like mass quantity of Donald Glover that I would be like, okay, this guy is like a true talent. But I've been doing a lot of reading about him since he's been cast as Lando, and I've been trying to watch more of what he's done, and I've been, then this album came out, and I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. Michael Nitt from the Deuce Cast was like all about it. He's like, you have to listen to this. This thing is like, it's unbelievable. listened to it last Friday, and I come before you today to be able to tell you this guy is going to be an amazing Lando. This guy is going to rock as Lando.
Oh, absolutely.
This album.
I've been fan casting Donald Glover's Lando for at least like 5 or 6 years in my head.
Nice.
At least.
Nice.
I remember I'm a big fan of Donald Glover. So he had an album, I think it was just called Camp, that came out years ago. I remember I would just drive around when I was in high school in my car and just blasting that as loud as I could. Donald Glover and Chance the Rapper were the two people who were like most popular when I was in high school.
Amazing.
I love Donald Glover so much. He's gonna be, I think he's gonna be a better Lando than Billy D. Williams is. He has that suave.
Not according to Billy D. I'll tell you that much. We heard him last month, and it's not that he had bad things to say about Donald Glover, but he didn't have good things to say about him.
He's just mad that he's not back as Lando, except for the animated series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was like he's like Lando is Billy D. Williams is Lando Calrissian, I think was his quote, or something along those lines. He was like, well, more power to him, but we all know who Lando really is. It was something along those lines, and that's kind of what Billy D's perspective.
I'm crazy excited for the Han Solo spinoff now, and I think Donald Glover is like 85% the reason why.
This guy is going to rock. Like, he is going to kill this part. This is a soul album that just came out. Awaken My Love is the name of the album, and like pure soul, like with a little bit of Parliament Funkadelic in there, and like maybe even a little Mike Patton. I'm not even sure, but it's fantastic. And I was like, this guy's Lando. He's Lando to a T. You go back to what like Billy D was doing like the early 60s with like Let's Misbehave. You know, this is like, I feel like this is like the updated version of that. This is like, you know, you can see like where the smoothness and the suaveness comes from. He's gonna need to portray this character.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing about the album is that it's very much a departure from what he's done previously.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All his past stuff was just straight up hip hop, and I'm a really big hip hop fan.
No kidding.
So when I heard this for the first time, I was sort of like taken aback slightly.
Yeah.
But I was really, really into it. Like I adore Chance the Rapper, and Chance the Rapper had a mixtape come out called Acid Rap a few years ago, and I adore Acid Rap. And he had another one come out this past year, and it's nothing like the last one. Like, it's Chance the Rapper, but it's got more gospel undertones, gospel vibes to it. And he and Childish Gambino have collaborated a ton. So it's interesting to hear like both of them change up their styles. But there's a lot of weird songs on here that a lot of people aren't going to get. There's a song called Zombies. That's one of the most weird songs I've ever heard. And then a song called California.
I love California.
It's really, really great, but it's really controversial. I know a lot of people who just hate that song.
Because of the lyrics or just because of his style?
It's just so weird.
It's weird.
I've never heard a song like that in my life.
Really? Yeah. I mean, there's something very experimental.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I think the Mike Patton comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is something that sounds very much like avant-garde, but at the same time, you know, it's still holding all of the soul of, you know, an old school like Detroit Motown album. Like it's cool. Let me see if I can pull some of this up. Pull up a little California right now. Like, I can do that. I can make that happen. All right. A little happy little song. You know.
No, it's getting weird.
Yeah, it's like a weird style of singing. It's it's a cool style. It's pretty cool. Let's play something little more on the level here. What's
play a bit of Zombies.
All right, let's play Zombies. Yeah, now we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. Yeah, this is all Lando right here. Maybe a little Luke Cage involved too.
It's about to become a little Walking Dead.
Yeah, I can deal with that. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan.
All I see is zombies walking all around us. You can hear them coming.
Not bad. Not bad. I like it.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely.
I think California and Zombies are my favorite tracks in the album. I think Redbone is the best, which is right before California on the album. I think it's really unique. The entire album is fantastic. It's just absolutely worth listening to, even if you're not a big fan of like R&B, funk, soul stuff. It'll give you some perspective for a Childish Gambino / Donald Glover if you have no idea who he is. Because when he got announced, I was flipping out, and I saw a lot of comments. There's like, "Who's this? I've never seen him before."
There is definitely
really
like an age disconnect. There's definitely a disconnect there somewhere, where he wasn't on my radar at all. And then I'm like, all right, yeah, he was the guy from Community. Okay, I get it. That's who that guy was. And there's like, no, there's a lot more to him than that. So, pretty cool. All right. Did you see Spaceship Earth turn into the Death Star?
I did.
I'm loving this.
I really want to go back to Disney.
I've wanted this for like 30 years now. Like, I've seen that thing, and I don't understand how it took so long to do this. Like, this is all anyone has ever wanted out of Spaceship Earth, is to make it a Death Star. Like, they finally, it just feels like a wish fulfilled, right?
You know, I'm really surprised that it didn't happen prior, and in my head it was always like, oh, this would be perfect to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, have you ever been inside it?
I have.
Yeah, it's basically like History of the World with like Walter Cronkite narrating it. Super outdated. You got to make that thing the inside of the Death Star. Make it like a weapons facility. I want to see like the big super laser thing. Like, make that whole thing a Star Wars ride. It would be unbelievable. There'll be lines down the street and around the corner.
It's a really great ride. I don't know how they would completely overhaul it unless they just replace like all the characters in it with
tear it apart.
Yeah, just replace them all with like Imperial officers.
Yeah, just put like stormtrooper helmets on like Benjamin Franklin and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just completely like do a shoddy job of
like the cavemen.
Updating the ride. Just put one stormtrooper helmet in there and say the Star Wars update.
Just have the cavemen have like lightsabers and stuff. I could see that. That could be good. That'd be good. So you've seen the Vader and the Rogue One trailers, right?
Yeah, I have.
All right. Did you notice there was a little something wrong with the costume?
Wasn't there? It's something with the neck.
Yeah, the neck was like, I don't know how they released this. It was totally missing. It was like there was like a chest, and then there was like a massive like triangle of empty space between like the chest and where Vader's neck really should end, because he's like a massive David Proust looking guy, in originally, and now it's definitely not someone who's like as massive a bodybuilder. So there was like a cutoff where like the helmet was, and then there's all this space. They filled that in like within like the past 2 days in these trailers. I saw a screen cap of it. It's pretty cool that you see that progress. But man, I don't know how they let that out. You know?
I mean, I didn't notice until people started pointing it out today.
Really?
I mean, it really just wasn't. I mean, I'm not a big neat freak when it comes to the Vader costume. Like, a lot of people are talking about the robe being over the chest piece.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. I mean, it's not a gigantic deal to me. I'm not that much of a continuity fiend for Vader, but I really didn't notice. I didn't notice the neck thing at all. And today, when I noticed it, it was like, geez, how could that happen?
Like, what is that?
But at the same time, I mean, I'm not gonna flip out over it.
It looked a little weird the way it was. I'm glad they fixed that up. With the robe thing, I feel like, well, you're wearing it different every day, right? You're getting up, you're putting on the same outfit every day. It's gonna be a little bit different, right? The robes are coming off, they're coming on. He has to clean those things, I'd imagine. Gotta send them to somewhere.
Maybe. You don't think they just have 100 costumes that they just replace every day?
You think the Vader's like taking that thing off and just like torching it and like they're bringing in another one every day?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Disney has the money.
Yeah, I'm talking like in universe here. I'm not talking.
Oh, you're talking in universe?
Oh yeah, I'm talking like totally in universe. Like Vader's definitely like getting rid of that. He's either torching it every day or he has to clean it. Get that thing dry cleaned, right?
I mean, his armor has been, destroyed multiple times, so he's got to have variations of it.
I hope we see that.
It got wrecked in the Marvel comic. It got wrecked in Rebels last year.
Yeah. I hope we see the armor get a little wrecked, a little messed up right before
There
Rogue
was
One.
There was an image that came out in the behind-the-scenes featurette. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it's like there's
if
a
I did.
character when they're walking around in the background that looks sort of like Darth Vader with all the armor off, and he has like
Really?
a breathing tank. Yeah, let me pull it up for you, and I'll shoot it over to you. But it has severed arms, and where the arms are cut off, it looks basically just like where Vader's arms were cut.
Weird. Okay. This could be really cool. And
let me pull it up. You might need to cut this of me typing to find it.
That's all right. It would be a good reason why Vader is like off his chain angry at the beginning of Episode 4. More angry than you see him in any other part of of Star Wars.
Oh, in case his armor got all screwed up?
Yeah, like he is hell-bent on ripping these people apart.
Yeah, that wouldn't. I imagine if he if his armor got messed up, he'd kind of be bummed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd make him grumpy.
Very grumpy. You got that. You got
it. All right, I'm shooting it over to you right now.
All right.
So
waiting. We'll just hang out here.
Yeah.
There we
just
go.
Cut this.
No, we're not cutting this. There we go. There it comes. Oh man, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Looks just like where the arms are cut off, right?
Yeah.
It's bald. Looks like his head.
This is. I miss this. I miss this featurette. There are so many featurettes coming out now. I honestly cannot keep up. Wow. Wowie wow. There's like Moroff's feet right next to him. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And they got the concept art in the background as well. Why would they have concept art for such a meaningless thing? And it looks exactly like where the arms were cut off on Anakin Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, completely.
Like there's a lot of speculation now. Amongst people like in the Podcast Alliance group, when this image was shared, that there's a scene that was in the first Rogue One like full-on trailer where somebody's like kneeling before like that gigantic white tube with the Imperial guards around it.
Yes.
So maybe that's Darth Vader like in a Bacta or Kolto tank, like healing or something like that.
I can see this.
To see Vader like that, just totally exposed.
Which would
I think
explain
that'd be very effective. Like,
yeah, it would totally explain the royal guards all around him too, protecting him.
Oh yeah.
And that
unless they have like the Emperor in it somehow.
Yeah, that'll be even weirder. Like, what if they're side by side, like in different tubes, just hanging out, acting,
They're just
healing up.
They're both in. It's the Death Star tanning salon.
Yeah, it's like a spa,
Yeah.
We gotta go get in our Bactus for an hour every day. He's just really old, scarred and deformed, and Vader's needs that just to live, basically. I could see that. I could literally see that. That would be amazing. Wow, that you blew my mind, Tyler. That's an amazing image. And that's all like officially released material.
Yeah, look, it was in the creature feature, right? It's not like.
Yeah.
You could tell it was a snapshot. It's not like I broke in and stole this.
I didn't think you broke it and stole it. Don't worry. I have this creature feature I pulled up right here. I only watched it once and I completely missed it. I wanted to watch it again. I love this thing.
We all grew up with Star Wars, and I never imagined for 1 minute that I would ever work on a Star Wars production.
Neil Scanlon.
My role on Rogue One is an opportunity to be able to develop techniques, get better at it, not only in the way that we make things, but hopefully more successfully creatively, in such a way as that it feels as Star Wars as it can possibly be.
The creatures are amazing. Their eyes blink and move, and their lips have a very subtle expression.
All right, so you see you saw like the red like bearded guy in this thing. So they showed like Moroth, they showed Pow, and that's what I was really coming here for, to see like those guys and Bastan. And then there's like this other red, like big faced red guy. I don't have a name for him yet. I don't know. I don't think we got one yet. But he looks amazing as well. And I think it doesn't seem to be a ton of aliens in this movie, but the ones they're doing are unbelievable. I think it's gonna be more like an.
Yeah, I'm excited for the little laughing guy that they've shown a few times. Just like firing the guns.
But yeah, Bastan, the space monkey. Let's see what they have to say.
You'll look up and one of the creatures is a huge monkey shooting this enormous gun out of the plane. And then you remember, oh, we're actually in Star Wars.
I love apes and monkeys in general, and I love space. So when you combine the two and have a space monkey, it's kind of a dream come true. You've got to remind yourself that every single day is an amazing thing, no matter what you're doing. We just happen to be running around with robots and creatures and stuff.
The huge gonk droid.
Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The most important character of all of Star Wars, the Gonk.
He ties the whole thing together, right? He supplies the power. That's what he does.
Wouldn't it be great if the end of Rogue One is just like a slow pan of a Gonk walking the length of the screen for like 15 minutes?
With the plans?
Yeah.
That's it?
Just... Yeah.
Not even like, because not even part of it. Just like that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. And then they just blast the opening Star Wars theme for no reason while it's happening.
Dissonance. That's what it's all about. All right. So speaking of things that you're seeing in trailers, I saw one major surprise in one of these trailers. They showed the Rebel fleet. Did you see this?
Yes.
And
yeah, we had a podcast line. Are you talking about the Ghost?
I'm talking about a ship that looks exactly like the Ghost. A ship that has to be the Ghost. In the Rebel Alliance fleet, in a Rogue One trailer, the Ghost appears to be in Rogue One, people. The Ghost appears to be in Rogue One. Yeah. What do you think of this?
We had a really big discussion about this in the Star Wars Podcast Alliance Facebook group the other day.
Okay.
One of our listeners named Tony Johnson messaged me and the other admins on our staff to be like, hey, can I post this? Is this a spoiler? I'm just like, what is it? And he sent it to me, and I'm just like, yeah, post it. And then 30 minutes later, people started to recognize it as well. There's a ton of discussion going on.
Yeah.
About do you think it's the Ghost? Do you think you'll see Rebels characters? I think they'll probably tie it in at some point to say it is the Ghost, but I don't expect to see any Rebels characters at all.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it's been heavily implied that Sabine lives, at least into Return of the Jedi. I think in Aftermath or one of those books, Aftermath or Bloodline, they talk about a member of the Rebellion who likes to paint helmets, is very artistic. And I think it's heavily implied to be Sabine, but I'm not positive. I mean, out of all the characters that I expect to live, Sabine's on the list.
Makes sense, yeah.
At the top, but I don't expect Zeb or Kanan or Ezra to show up in the movie. But having the Ghost in there, if it's possible. I mean, it looks exactly like the ship. That's the other thing.
There's only one ship.
Seen another ship with the Ghost.
Yeah, there's only one ship that looks like that, and it looks perfect. There is no Phantom, and it looks definitely not as brightly colored. But man, that thing is the Ghost, if you ask me. And here's what I think. So there's this unspoken rule that the TV shows can never trump the movies, right? You can never, you can't introduce Rogue One things into the TV show before Rogue One comes out. And so they're going to hold on to the movies introducing the Ghost in the movie universe, but they're not going to, do it the other way around, right? So now that the Ghost will be featured in Rogue One, afterwards you may be able to see some Rogue One stuff. So there's that continuity that begins at the movie level, and then it always has to trickle down to the TV. I've seen it happen multiple times in this show. It may not be a rule, but it definitely feels that way from what happened with the prequels. Not even the prequels, but what happened with The Force Awakens and what happened into Rebels, and it just always seemed to run that way. Going back to the days of the G canon and the C canon and the T canon and the F canon, all of that crap. And it goes back to that. So, do I think we're going to see characters in Rebels on the movie screen? No. I think that they're basically just merging them. It's a little bit of a it's a gimme, right? It's an
Easter egg.
It's an Easter egg, right? So that's awesome to say, hey.
And the good thing about Star Wars is that they can expand upon it later, and they can make it a big deal. While in the movie is just in a side thing that maybe they decided, let's throw the ghost in there.
Yeah, and we won't know who's flying it, so that's another question they'll be able to show you. And maybe we see the ghost explode in Rogue One. Maybe that's the end of the ghost, right? But then we're
people theorizing that maybe the last episode of Rebels will be like the ghost joining the Rebel fleet, and then it ends.
Yeah.
Like based on this one image that we just saw, which very well could just be another ship with the same model.
It could be. That would be ridiculous, though. There's never been another ship like the Ghost. It's a one-of-a-kind ship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be like having another ship that look exactly like the Millennium Falcon. Like, exactly. So, you don't do that. It's ridiculous. Like, they made the Ghost to be a unique ship. And to just be like, yeah, there's another one now. But they did it with the Tantive V4. So, I guess anything's possible, I guess.
I don't know why they just didn't make it the Tantive V4. Like, it would have been so easy.
Yeah, like with the Sacred Heart and all that jazz. It could have been easy. But now there's they're not even called Corellian Corvettes anymore. They're what are they? What are they called? Blockers? Oh god, I can't think of it.
I have no idea.
I forget. I forget what they're called. They're not called Corellian Corvettes, which are what they were originally called. So yeah, I don't know. And now there's like a ton of them. But back in the day, that was the only model was the Tantive V4. So who the hell knows? I don't.
Didn't make it another ship in Revenge of the Sith for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the why.
Like, why would you
make
do
it
that?
the same?
It's clearly the same ship. You're not gonna. You can't trick me. It's the same ship. Lucas meant for it to be the same ship. That's what we're doing here. All right. I'm gonna release you. How about that? Sound good?
Are you finally letting me go and be homeless?
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna turn you back to the wild. All right.
I need a home. Don't do this.
You're always welcome here anytime. Hey man, I've had a great time talking to you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this special episode of Brews and Blasters. You can always find us at brewsandblasters.ninja, and every place podcasts can be heard. We want to hear from you. Email us at brewsandblasters@retrozap.com. Voicemail 978-219-6688. We're going to have a huge show about emails and voicemails and all your feedback next week. Haven't forgot about the contest either. We're going to be getting those as well. We just wanted to get Tyler on. We want to talk to him. We wanted to have a good time. Let this guy be heard. Tyler, where can you be found? How can people get in touch with you? How can people find you out on the world when you're not pushing that cart around?
When I'm not pushing around my shopping cart.
Hey, you said it, not me.
True. You can head to Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at @TWesthause.
Boom.
Go to Facebook and join the Star Wars Podcast Alliance Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's basically a big community for podcasters and podcast fans to come and talk about Star Wars. It's a good community.
It's a great community.
I like all the Star Wars fans that jump around in there.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of podcasts in general, you'll be able to talk to a lot of people who make their own shows. Joseph's in there, Brian Young from Full of Sith, Amy Radcliffe, Dan Zaire from Coffee with Kenobi. Tons of people are in there.
All
really
your
nice
friends
community.
from the podcast world.
Yeah, all my friends.
Yeah, all of your friends. They're all. It's a great group. You manage it well. I don't go to Facebook much. I go there to hang out there and post every once in a while. You do a great job. So really appreciate you. Starting that group and keeping it alive and really fostering a great community over there.
It's a bit of work.
Sure is.
It. We hit. I think we're at 3,200 people right now.
Wow.
So occasionally you'll get some people who just like to stir up trouble, but we do our best to nip that in the bud real quick. But it's gonna happen with any community you go to.
Sure.
We're finally reaching the internet stage of the group, where some people just make life difficult.
No.
But it's a nice community. If you head on in there, I'll be there all the time. I'm always on Twitter. If you want to tweet at me, never to be on the show again.
There we go. We're gonna have you back with Chris.
You can also go to you can always go to StarWars.com as well.
There you
Some
go.
of my stuff on there.
You write things on StarWars.com. We're gonna have you back on when Chris is here too, and it's gonna be a whole different feel. It's gonna pretty much be like hanging out with the two uncles, at Christmas time who might have had like a beer too many, and we're all gonna talk Star Wars, and it's gonna be ridiculous. That's what
it's not gonna be a show where we barely talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna be totally different from this very rigid conversation we had today.
I'm down if I'm able to navigate my shopping cart to a place with internet where I can plug my mic in. We'll be good to go.
All you need is power. That's it. Just get a battery, hot wire that thing.
I'm just gonna start siphoning off power from random people in Chicago.
Get a gonk droid. Get a gonk droid. That's all you need.
Ooh.
There you go.
That's the secret. What if Rogue One ends with like the Death Star plans on a hard drive that's about to die, but they have to plug it into a gonk droid so that it stays alive?
Not
Can
bad.
you imagine?
I can't imagine that. It would be pretty good.
Hit me up.
Yeah, there we go. T Westhause on Twitter. Let him know. All right,
Gareth, I know you're listening.
Yeah, you gotta know your audience, right?
I know the movie comes out next week, but let's be honest. I'm available.
All right, as always, subscribe to the RetroZap Podcast Network. Find it on retrozap.com or the catch-all feed on iTunes. Don't forget to read all the latest articles and columns as well, publishing daily on RetroZap. We have a ton of stuff over there. Subscribe to never miss a thing. Retrozap.com/shirts is the place to get shirts. Find Chris at collectorshut.com, the all-new thecollectorshut.com. Chris has made an amazing site over there showcasing everything. A lot of great new pictures as well of his collection. Twitter, Brews and Blaster, leave off the S. RetroZapped at a PED. Collector's Hut, 2 T's. Joey Wan Kenobi, Chris Salton. Yeah, that's about it. Tyler, any last words?
Thanks for having me on, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. You were definitely part of this show because that's how we start the show off. That's how we end it.
Correct.
Guys,
I was a part of this show.
Yeah, no, guys, we're sorry. That's it. It's been a show.
That's
all right.
That's the staple.
That's how we started episode 1, man. That's how we do it. Hey, for Chris Salton, for Tyler Westhause, I'm Joe Tavano. Suck a lot and tell it to Kanji Club.
I'm afraid the party's canceled, but the summits never show. I don't always pay so I was foreboding no. Force getting ready, man, we get too much. I don't want to suffer, the Wookiee's wicked clutch.